I was scrubbing a coffee stain off table 6 when the richest man in the city walked into my life. Not walked. Appeared. Like a shadow that had been waiting for the right moment to swallow me whole. I was 22, working double shifts at a diner that smelled of old grease and broken dreams. My mother was dying in a hospital bed I couldn't afford. The bills were stacked on my nightstand like a paper coffin. I hadn't slept more than 4 hours in months. I was invisible. Invisible, that is, until Damien Cross decided I wasn't. He didn't sit at a table. He stood by the door, coat draped over his arm, suit dark as a bruise. His eyes, pale grey, almost silver, locked onto me and didn't let go. I remember thinking he looked like a man who had never been told no in his entire life. And I was about to find out why. "Aurora," he said. Not a question. My name in his mouth felt like a secret I didn't know I'd told him. He knew everything. My mother's name. The hospital. The exact amount of debt I was drowning in. He slid a black folder across the sticky diner counter as if it were a menu. Inside, a contract. 1 year as his wife. $10 million. A full medical team for my mother. All debts cleared. No questions asked. No intimacy required. At least, not on paper. Just my signature. Why me? I whispered. His smile was a locked door. Because you're exactly what I need. I signed. God help me, I signed. The wedding was a quiet affair at a courthouse with marble floors and no guests. He slipped a ring onto my finger, a diamond so cold and heavy it felt like a shackle. That night, I moved into his penthouse overlooking the city. The glass walls made me feel like a bird in a cage, but the cage was beautiful. So beautiful it was easy to forget the door was locked. For the first month, Damien was polite. Distant. He bought me dresses I didn't ask for. He took me to galas where I smiled until my face ached. He introduced me as my wife, Aurora. People stared. Women envied me. But every night, he retreated to his study, and I slept alone in a bedroom that smelled of fresh lilies, my favorite flower, though I never told him that. The staff whispered. I caught them mid-sentence whenever I entered a room. The housekeeper, a stern woman named Margot, always looked at me as if she was seeing a ghost. Once, I heard her mutter under her breath, "She's back." I wasn't back. I had never been here before. Then I found the portrait. It was in a locked room on the 3rd floor, the one room Damien told me never to enter. Curiosity is a cruel master. One night, when he was away on business, I picked the lock with a hairpin. The door creaked open into a dusty, untouched space. And there, hanging above a cold fireplace, was a painting of a woman. She had my face. My exact face. Same brown hair, same green eyes, same small scar on my left eyebrow from a childhood fall. She wore a pale blue gown and a diamond necklace I recognized, the one Damien had given me on our wedding night. The plaque beneath the portrait read, Eleanor Cross. Beloved wife. 1997 to 2022. I stumbled back, my heart a trapped bird. Eleanor. His first wife. The one who died 5 years ago. The one no one ever talked about. And she was my mirror. I started digging. That night, I searched every corner of the internet for Eleanor Cross. There were no photos, no obituaries. She had been erased, as if she never existed. But I found one thing, a locked diary hidden beneath a loose floorboard in that very room. Her diary. The entries started sweet. She loved Damien. She felt like the luckiest woman alive. But by page 30, the words twisted. He watches me constantly. I can't breathe without him knowing. By page 50, he says he loves me too much to let me go. I'm afraid of what that means. And on the final page, written in shaky, desperate handwriting, he's going to do it again. He found a girl who looks just like me. He's going to replace me with her. He's going to make her into me. Please, if you find this, run. He's not human. His. The sentence ended in a jagged line, as if she'd been pulled away. I couldn't breathe. Replace me. Make me into her. I looked at my reflection in the dark window, and for the first time, I noticed things I hadn't before. My haircut. Damien had suggested it. My dresses, all in shades Eleanor wore in the painting. The lilies. The way he called me Eleanor once in his sleep and then pretended it was a mistake. I wasn't his wife.
Before I continue, let me ask you something. Are you watching from the United States, Nigeria, India, the United Kingdom, somewhere else? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one, and I want to see where my people are watching from. And if you want part 2, where I finally take everything from Damien, drop a fire in the comments and tell me, I'm ready. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because I don't forget who stood beside me when I was still building my throne. And share this video with someone who loves a good dark romance. Let's grow this empire together. Now, let's end this.
His wife. I was her replacement. A doll he was dressing up to resurrect his dead obsession. But it got worse. The next morning, I went to the hospital to visit my mother, only to find she'd been moved to a private facility. The staff had no record of her transfer. When I called Damien, his voice was calm, almost bored. She's safe, Aurora. I've taken care of everything. Come home. Home. That glass cage. I didn't go home. I went to the address listed in the back of Eleanor's diary, a cottage on the edge of the city, the place she'd written about as her only escape. When I arrived, the door was unlocked. Inside, the air was thick with dust and decay. And there, sitting in a wheelchair by a cracked window, was a woman. She turned her head slowly. Her face was gaunt, scarred. But I recognized her. How could I not? It was me. Or rather, it was Eleanor. Alive. She couldn't speak. Her throat had been damaged. But she wrote on a notepad with trembling hands, "He didn't let me die. He keeps me here. He's been waiting for you." Waiting for me? For what? She pointed to a mirror on the wall, and I saw a side by side, 2 women, identical, but one broken and the other being prepared to take her place. The truth slammed into me like a wave of ice. Damien didn't want a wife. He wanted Eleanor back. But the original was too damaged, too ruined. So he found me, a genetic match, a doppelganger, maybe even a distant relative, and he was going to surgically perfect me until I was her exact replica. Then I would become Eleanor, and the real Eleanor would be disposed of for good. The diary's final words echoed, "He's going to make her into me." I heard a car pull up outside. Damien. I kissed Eleanor's forehead and promised I'd come back for her. Then I slipped out the back, my mind a hurricane. I couldn't run. He'd find me. He owned the city. I couldn't fight him. He had my mother. There was only one move left. I had to become the monster he thought he was creating. That night, I returned to the penthouse. I put on the blue dress he loved. I smiled at him over dinner. I let him believe I was still his innocent little contract wife. And when he kissed my cheek and whispered, "Soon, you'll be perfect," I whispered back, "I know." I will let him fund my mother's treatment. I will let him pay for the surgeries. I will let him reshape me into his dead wife. But every moment, I will be gathering secrets. Every breath, I will be sharpening a blade he cannot see. Because I am not Eleanor. I am Aurora. And I did not sign that contract to become a ghost. The final surgery is scheduled for next month. After that, Damien says, Eleanor will finally be home. He has no idea that on that day, I will smile at him, take his hand, and burn his entire empire to ash. He thinks he's replacing a woman with a copy, but is about to learn that copies can rewrite the original. The game is not over. It has just begun, and I am the one holding the pen.